Hello and welcome to the introduction to Sage Paperless Construction. My name is Vincent Pate, and today we're going to go through a couple of quick slides and talk about what Sage Paperless Construction is and how it can help your company. And then we're going to get into the actual demo of the product and a little bit of Q&A at the end. Sage Paperless Construction is designed around giving all of your people in your company a centralized location to store all of your documentation in your office. Now, the whole purpose of this is to be more efficient so that as you store in your human resources and your payroll and your document management, of course, your AP, all those documents are stored in such a way that you can grab them out as soon as you need them. Whether or not you're in Sage 100 Contractor or Sage 300 Construction and Real Estate, this module works with you to allow you to be more productive in grabbing all of the documents as soon as you need them, whenever you need them. It also allows you to save time because instead of having to run around and figure out, who has what documents sitting out there, maybe you're checking out documents, or maybe you're approving documents such as AP invoices or purchase orders or things like that, where you want to know who's sitting out there, who are we waiting on to get this approved. It means that you can also have better relationships with your subcontractors and your vendors. Because of that fact, we can actually get invoices right around for approval, track them, make sure they're getting paid faster, and those subcontractors will be a lot happier to get those checks a day or two earlier, I'm sure. Of course, reduce paperwork, administrative overhead, and eliminate the need for paper files. We want to go green, not necessarily something that a lot of people think about, but at the end of the day, wouldn't you like to not have any of that paper in your office anymore? Filing cabinets that no longer need to be used because everything has gone digital and available in Sage Paperless. So the kind of main portions of the software, it's almost split in two and all within the same location at the same time. What do I mean by that? Well, for one, we can go and take all of those filing cabinets that you store, everything from human resources documents, W-2s, 1099 forms, maybe your storing in all of your payroll direct deposit stubs somewhere. Going to the project management side, you've got drawings, you've got RFI, submittal items, all this stuff, and of course your AP invoices and your purchase orders and the receiving tickets and the lien waivers and everything else. Lots of paper in your office. Sage Paperless Construction is your digital filing cabinet available right within your Sage accounting software. It stores everything so that you can absolutely pull them out as quickly as possible to view them whenever you need them. We give you multiple methods to do that, and we'll touch on those as we go through the demo today. But we wanted to make sure that you could always find the documents as you needed them, when you need them, and with the right security, allowing you to set up and say who can access what documents. Same as, if you put locks on a filing cabinet door, we can do that with this as well. But we can go even deeper. You can say, you can go into this door, you can look at AP invoices, but only those tied to your job that you're the project manager of. Or on the human resources payroll side, allowing only your employees to pull up documents that have their employee ID tagged to it. Very customizable on that front as well. Now, before I jump into any of the AP side of things, let's take a look at the software. Now, before I jump too deep into this, a couple quick things to note. This software is very customizable. I'm going to be showing you kind of the standard look and feel for it, but you can set this up to work pretty much any way you want. As a starting point, your coloring schema can change. I've got this green and the blue here. You can change it to be whatever colors you want, match your colors of your company. Or if you don't care about any of these dashboards, turn those off, put your company logo in the background there, and run it that way. Set it up however you want. But more than that, you can actually go in and change all the different document types that you're storing in. By default, I've got, I think, about 150 document types set up ready to go out of the box, but they are all customizable. So if I wanted to store in AP documents, I can, but I can also store in human resources and payroll and property management and project management and personal files and anything else. And every single one of those documents can have its own customizable search criteria for finding them later. So you can set up how do you want to save these documents and how do you want to bring them back up. I'll come back into this in a minute. I want to let you guys just know at the highest level that If you don't see something exactly matching your look and feel, let me know. I can probably make it look like that for you because, again, we can customize this any which way. And everything's tied back into the Sage database at the end of the day for accounting. Now, what I like to start with is bringing in documents because, of course, what's the purpose of a system saving in all of your documentation if there's no easy way to get them in? Number one, you can scan them in through your scanner directly into Sage Paperless. But number two, you can grab them out of files. So if I have a file that I wanted to come save in here, I can literally click and drag it in and say open file. And that could be anything, a PDF document, a TIFF, a JPEG, a Word document, an Excel document, anything you want, including emails. So say I've got this email I want to save in the system. I can click and drag the email in, say open file, and I'll save the email. And that email can now be saved in as whatever I want it to be. Maybe this is a transmittal. So if somebody sends me an email, I want to track that in as a transmittal that was sent over, and I can tie that over either to a job straight up, or if I'm using a PJ module or the doc control in Sage 100 Contractor, I can literally look up the transmittal in the system, and it will then read the data from that out of my accounting system, tie it all up, and save it. And now I have an email saved in the system ready to be pulled up later as needed. If I'm grabbing in a bunch of PDF documents all at once, I might go in and split them up very easily. So let's look at a context of purchase orders. If I had a multitude of purchase orders, when I scan those through my scanner, if they're all collated into one page a sheet or one sheet a page, then I could easily just tell it split every page, hit and be done. If it's the case where each one is going to potentially be a different amount of pages, I can use my keyboard and just hit space bar every single time I get to a new document. And this allows me to quickly go through and break it up into individual components and save it and make it available. And once it's available, I'm putting it in what we call a queue, which is somebody's desktop box, so to speak, but digitally done. So going back into my queues here, I can see all the documents that have been ready for me to put in. And if I have something like a purchase order, I can go ahead and tell it this is an AP purchase order. And just like on the transmittal, I can do my lookup, find the PO in the system. It'll automatically read the information right from the Sage database and store it in there along with any other pieces that we want to have done. I can also take any document that I save in here and route it around for approval. What that means is through my doc route system, I can have my purchase orders have their own route and say, okay, every time a PO comes in, route it to my, the AP person or route it to the project manager, and I want their stamp of approval on here. And when they do, they hit their approve button or they give a reply back or they reroute it to somebody else or they just reject it. There's something wrong with it. They have the ability to look at all the information, put markups on the purchase order or whatever this document might be, vacation request form, pay raise request form. Think of all the different potential documents you could route around for approval digitally through our system. And you can have alerts automatically pop up and let people know in the system or send emails out or even text message people, letting them know that there's a document out there for their approval. Once all those are in and set through the system, of course, we want to be able to get them out of the system just as easily as we put them in. So we give you multitudes of search utilities. One of the most common ones is just the straight search utility right here in Paperless. Say I want to find all documents. Well, there they all are. If I wanted to then use all those different criteria that I've been saving them with and say, find me all of my documents for job whatever, and for the last 30 days, I can do that too. Find me everything that's been coded to a certain cost code. Find me employee number 110s, 1099s. I mean, you can, that's a terrible example, 1099s, I should say W-2s. All of the different ways that you've saved them can all now be searchable in the back end as well. AIA documents is a good example. I need to get backup documentation for that. So I'm going to say, show me all my AP documents that are for a particular job, maybe a particular cost code range, and then a date range, and then I can find those. And then from there, you can grab any of these documents, email them, print them, even save them to file if you want to put them on a flash drive and hand them to somebody. I can go into the browse view and save common things I do. If I'm a project manager, I'm going to always want my jobs quickly available for me to see. And I can literally save my job on it as a quick search, maybe say invoices in a certain amount of dates, all my drawings, and all of my invoices that were coded as a subcontract to that job. You can really customize this down to pretty much any level you're looking at for quick viewing of documents. And not just on the project management side. You can do it on human resources. Have all human resources documents in there, maybe show all my I-9 forms, all the W-2s, all the whatever else you want to store in there. Create your custom searches however you want them to go. They're in there available. And if you are in your Sage accounting system, you can quickly grab documents out of the paperclip icon as well. I'm in Sage 300 Construction and Real Estate. If you're a Sage 100 contractor user, same exact concept. If there's a paperclip icon, and there is all over in that system, you can do this there too. Say I'm looking at a vendor and I want to see all documents for a vendor. I pull up the paperclip icon, and it's going to then launch and show me everything in Paperless that's been coded to that vendor. And then, we have purchase orders, AP invoices, receiving tickets, they're all in here. And again, I can print them out, email them, whatever I need. If I wanted to do maybe a search on cost codes, I can go to my job costs, let's say cost control, profit, whatever. Oh, that's a report. I meant to do an inquiry. So job cost, cost control, profit summary. And I can pull that up and look at a job. I can go delve into a job and then find a particular cost code and say, show me all documents related to that cost code. Again, Paperless Construction is going to automatically look in, say, well, that cost code has 4 AP invoices coded to it. Here they are. I can print them, email them, download them, whatever I need. Again, Sage 100 Contractor, exact same concept. Anywhere there's a paperclip icon, we can do that. From there, we also, as I said, we have security lockdown so that all the different pieces, but we also have retention as well. You can make sure all of your documents are retained for a certain amount of time. Let's say all human resources, payroll documents need to be retained for 10 years. You can set that up. They can't be deleted out of the system. But other documents, you might be able to purge them out after a certain amount of time or just put them into a backup archive. Now, the other side of this is AP. So from here as well, note that we can do AP invoices and have those route around for approval as well. So we can capture all the data, put that in, route it for approval based on how they were coded, and of course track who's got what document, where's the data, and run reports and find out. So with AP, we again can store in all the documents just like we were before, and we're able to come in and code them through the system the same way you would in Sage 100 or 300, but in a new look and feel. All the same lookbacks and capabilities are there. So if I pick a vendor that has out of compliance issues, that's going to pop up and let me know. We are directly connected with your Sage accounting database because we are a Sage module that goes along with it. Anytime there's an update to a vendor, we're going to see that immediately. As you put in your dates and information on here and code out your invoice, note that we have the ability to tell you, guess I need an invoice number, don't I? We have the ability to put in a job, link back to a purchase order, a subcontract, equipment, property, do chargebacks if you need to. We have all the same lookbacks, all the jobs are available, all the cost codes. You code it in just like you were an AP invoice, except for in the case where you might be the person processing, you don't know all the details. All you know is what you see on the piece of paper there on the left. I code in what I know, and I hit route, and I let the system route it over to the people who do know the answers. And then they'll be able to come in and log in and say, okay, well, I know the cost code. Let me correct that. Or if I don't, reject it and send it back or just make changes. Speaking of which, we do notify those people that are being routed to that they have documents out there for approval. And then they would come in and log in through the approve invoice screen here to see everything that's going on. Now, as a approver, maybe I'm a project manager, maybe I'm a supervisor, I'm going to come in, I'm going to see everything I need to approve. And from a single screen, see all the header information, all the notes. We can actually track issues now of different potential things that we see on an invoice. Maybe this cost code is going over budget. I want to track what we're doing on that. Or this purchase order needs to be updated. Have we done that yet? We can also pull up and see all the history of what's going on with a particular invoice and that vendor. By pulling up the vendor history, I can see all the previous invoices and how they were coded and what cost codes and dollar amounts. And I can even see all of the commitment information if it happens to be something on a purchase order or a budget information on that. Specifically, I can pull up a commitment worksheet here on a purchase order and see exactly what accounting can see, what's been committed and changed and paid and invoiced and everything else in between. I want to make sure my people approving documents can see everything so we don't have to worry about them approving things that were inappropriate or skipping things or just not having the information and not doing the work. Everything's here at their fingertips, right there, tied back into your Sage Accounting. And it connects back in with, of course, Paperless itself so that you can see all those related documents that we had coded in earlier. So if I'm looking at my AP invoice that's from a purchase order, I might want to verify that I have a lien waiver or receiving ticket. I want to make sure the purchase order actually matches the invoice. It's all in here and automatically collates based on all the different criteria we've been using. If I need to reject it, I can do that. I can even put it on hold with an accept or not accept. Think of the scenario where a project manager looks at the document and says, well, this is all accurate, but I'm going over my commitment amount. I want to be able to approve this, but I need somebody to put on hold while we revise the commitment amounts. I can do just that. In fact, you actually can set up different ways to warn or error out on people if they are going over commitment or a budget. You control all that. And we keep track of where everyone's at through a bunch of reports and tools that we have here as well. We have reports where you can run and say, show me all of my invoices by job, by vendor that are outstanding, or by the reviewer themselves. I can look out here and say, which of my project managers is getting their job done? I can see that on this quick list here that we got $88,000 going to Justin, and he hasn't taken care of some of those in over 120 days. That's something I'm going to want to call him up or have somebody else log in as their proxy rights and take care. We also had to have on our reports the ability to run job costing information and track all the job costs, how the counting works with it, what's been unapproved. And we also have the ability to pull up an invoice manager to see all of the invoices by their different statuses. Maybe I want to look at everything that's been rejected. And I can pull those invoices up and look at the notes, who rejected it, who approved it, what were their notes on that side, and correct the invoice if I need to. I might pull up another report that shows all my pending invoices, what's sitting out there by dollar amount or by discount date, due date. What can we get done faster? Again, we're trying to help allow you to get those better relationships with your vendors and subcontractors. And part of the way we're going to do that is making sure you're paying things on time. And we can quickly and easily see that. And once everything's been fully approved, we just export it right back into the Sage accounting system so that you can cut your checks out. Speaking of which, we have a check review screen as well. And this check review screen allows you to do a couple different things. One, you can pull up all of your invoices marked for payment and verify them before you even cut out those checks. And when I say verify, I mean shows the vendor, all the invoices and their amounts, all the documents, who reviewed those documents, and all the notes. I also mentioned earlier you can do annotations and stick-it notes and things like that, so you'd see anything blaring that somebody wanted to throw on that document for you. I could also run it by check number. So if I wanted to cut out the checks and hand it to my boss and say, can you please sign these? He doesn't have to go hunting for all the related documents. I just forgot I updated my database and I need to recut some checks out. But just like I showed a second ago, all of the checks that are in the system, actually let me switch databases right here. I got some examples in my Sage 100 contractor database. So that boss or whoever it is that needs to sign the checks just puts the check numbers into Sage Paperless. It's going to show you the check, the vendor, the date, the amount, all the invoices that it went to, all the documents related to that invoice, who reviewed it in the notes as well. It automatically collates everything in one place. A very powerful tool that allows you to save a lot of time. And it's not just used by the people sending the checks. I mean, you could use this as a somebody who's dealing with bank reconciliations and you have a discrepancy. You can pull this up to see what those differences are. And again, it all ties back into the same system. So everything we've been doing today, talking about putting in AP invoices, purchase orders, subcontracts, property management, project management, human resources, payroll, everything stored in so that we can search for it all in the same place without having to go into different systems to find different places. We want to keep everything at your fingertips, connected back with Sage Accounting, so you can get your documents when you need them as fast as possible. And always keep you alerted and notified and emailed when things need to be taken care of.